Sharing our top 5 tips for mandated reporters in Arkansas. Number 1, make sure you know if you're a mandated reporter. This includes a lot of people like you already expect, teachers, coaches, things like that. Every few years, the legislation might meet and update who qualifies. So in 2023, they met and that they added massage therapists to the list, but also anyone over the age of 18 that witnesses abuse. A lot of people, they assume that most people don't know that this happened. So please help us in spreading awareness. We're doing our best to make sure more and more people know their responsibility and what to do when they witness something happening. Number 2, you can report abuse with less information than you might think. For example, if you saw abuse taking place near someone's car in the parking lot of a grocery store but had no other identifying information, there are still some things you could do to create an acceptable hotline call. You could use the description of the people involved, the license plate of the car they're in, and a description of the abuse you see. As long as there's some sort of information that could potentially locate a victim, it would be acceptable for a hotline call. 3, if you're ever wondering if you should report something, the answer is yes. There is no harm in reporting a suspicion. You do not have to have proof. When you make a report to the child abuse hotline, it's important to remember you aren't accusing anyone of anything. You're merely asking a professional for a service that's outside your scope. You can never be sued for making a false report because if it turns out to be not true, then you were merely making a good faith report. We hope every case we see is a misunderstanding. That's just typically not the reality. And by law, the name of the reporter cannot be released. Even though you cannot report child maltreatment anonymously, the only people who would have access to your name are the detective and/or investigator on the case. Number 4, if your child is listed as the alleged victim on a hotline report, then they can be interviewed by professionals without your consent. And it is best practice that they be interviewed at a child advocacy center, like the CSC, so that they can have access to services for ongoing support. Number 5, and probably the one that is most important for people to hear. 73% of children wait at least 1 year before disclosing sexual abuse. What does this tell us? A lot. One is that this is super uncomfortable to talk about, so kids rarely embellish what they're talking about. More likely, they're minimizing what actually happened. 2, shame and guilt that comes from a child being manipulated and groomed can cause them to feel like they shouldn't tell. 3, if a kid picks you as the person they finally feel safe enough to tell, please remember how much courage it took for them to come forward and be prepared to respond. We have another video coming up soon about that.